So what is, in your opinion, the biggest threat to the mainland moose in Nova Scotia right now?
The biggest threat to habitat is clear cutting. And they don't call it that. They've just changed the name. And the biologist would have been instructed not to say clear cutting,
Right.
or he wouldn't be allowed to.
So what new name do they refer clear cutting as?
Variable retention.
Variable
Retention. And what that means is that if they're going to clear cut an area, they'll leave 10% of the trees, or 20%, or 30%. But if you look at a definition of clear cutting, anything more than 50% that's cut is a clear cut. So what they're doing is bamboozling the public.
What do you mean by that?
They're basically confusing the issue with vernacular, with words. They're redefining themselves so they no longer use the word clear cut. You don't know where my office is. I should add a piece of wood. Well, no, it's not. It's 22 in here. No, it's too hot.
How long have you been in this office?
About 20 years. It was the last thing I did in the house. Forest strategy. Forest data 2014. Can I read you something here?
Yeah.
This came from one of the biologists. I'm reading a report from a friend of mine. And what happened was a journalist got a statement from Adele Poirier, who's a spokesperson for the DNRR, and in response to what my journalist asked, she said, declaring moose habitat, it's a complex process to designate the core habitat for mainland moose identified in the recovery plan. It involves formal legal description of the lands and consultation and notification of property owners and interested parties. We are actively working on it, but we anticipate it will take several years to complete. So we are already 20 years into the moose, and they have no core habitat. And the point that I like to make is some of that land is public land, crown land, and all they had to do was designate it. But to read another section here, these things, they're not even allowed to go to meetings over species at risk. And they're dealing with environmental assessments for other things. For example, species at risk are not in the mandate letter that the government has, so there's not official business. It's business sideline, and core habitat designation. They don't have time because they're pushing things about gold mines and moose areas. There are companies that want to, and moose wintering areas are being targeted for gold mines.